Hey guys, I'm Melissa and welcome back to Hopeful Happenings. Since I'm up here in my home country of Canada, I thought it would be really cool to show you some famous authors who you might not have known were Canadian.
Well, we get to see the maple trees, maple sugar and the maple leaves. We got the biggest timber wood so tall in Canada, where adventure ever calls. In Canada, we get to see them all. I say in Canada, we get to see them all.
Okay, so I thought I would start with children's and then move up to adult. So the first author that I want to talk about is Canada's most famous children's author. His name is Robert Munsch. Robert Munsch is a hilarious author. He writes books like Stephanie's Ponytail, Paperback Princess, Mud Puddle, 50 Below Zero, Thomas's Snowsuit, Murmel Murmel, and then there's, of course, Love You Forever, which isn't actually a funny book, but it is pretty popular too. So he was one of my favorite authors as a kid, and then now I love to buy his books and read them to my own child. One of the great things about Robert Munsch is that he uses a lot of sound effects in his writing, and he does a lot of repetitive things, and it's usually so crazy and ridiculous that it's completely unrealistic but so funny. For example, in Stephanie's Ponytail, it's about a girl who wants her hair done in a ponytail, and then everybody in her whole school copies her. So she starts changing the way that she does her ponytail. She'll do it on the front, she'll do it on the side, and she's so fed up by the end of the book that everyone's always copying her, even her teachers, that she says, "All right, that's it, I'm shaving my head, I'm going to be bald." And then the last page is everybody in the entire school shaved their head just to be like her, and she walks in with a regular ponytail. 50 Below is another one. I like to listen to this on tape because of the sound effects that he does and just the way he expresses emotions. The next author is Kenneth Oppel, and I particularly want to talk about his book Silverwing. I read this book when I was in elementary school. I did a book report on it. I loved this book. Silverwing is about a young bat whose name is Shade, and he gets separated from his colony, so the book is his journey back to finding his parents and his family. But as he's searching for them, he'll encounter some other people like owls or carnivorous bats and all these people who are trying to stop him from getting to where he wants to go. That's one book that has stayed with me for a long time. While we're talking about childhood, there is this one poem that I had to memorize in school. It's called The Cremation of Sam McGee by Robert W. Service. He was a British and Canadian poet, and the poem is about this guy named Sam McGee who dies in the North Pole searching for gold, but before he dies, he makes his friend promise to him that he will cremate him so that he'll be warm once again. So after he dies, his friend does cremate him and keeps his promise, and the whole poem is written with rhyme, so it's really cool to memorize and just something that I think all the students had to do in our class. The next book is a book by Yann Martel called Life of Pi. This is a book about a boy whose name is Pi and his family owns a zoo. I believe they're from India, and they are transporting all the animals from the zoo on a boat to Canada. The ship sinks and the only survivors are Pi and some animals including a Bengal tiger. It's a really insightful survival story with Pi and this Bengal tiger. And lastly, author Ann Montgomery, who wrote Anne of Green Gables. This is one I actually have the copy for. This is a book about a girl named Anne Shirley, who is an orphan. She gets sent to Avonlea to live with Matthew and Marilla Cuthbert. And it's kind of an accident, but they decide to keep her anyways, and it's just about how she lives in Avonlea and how Avonlea affects her and how she affects it. If you haven't read it, I definitely recommend it. Also, I really recommend the movie as well because the movie just melts my heart. Me and my little sister are in love with Anne and Gilbert's relationship. And before I go, here are some notable mentions of books that I haven't yet read myself, but that I know are amazing. The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood, Water for Elephants by Sarah Gruen, and Milk and Honey by Rupi Kaur. Oh gosh, I hope I said those names correctly. Thank you so much for watching. If you're looking for a new read, then I definitely recommend one by a Canadian author. If you know a book by a Canadian author that I've missed, then please comment below. If you're new here, thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you'll consider subscribing on your way out. I post weekly writing videos on YouTube, and I post daily on Instagram to show you how my own writing journey is going. Thank you so much. We'll see you next week. Bye!